Don't let anyone or anything hold you back from achieving your goals and dreams on today's Oblyron Divination. Greetings everyone, I am Oblyron, Lord of the Underworld and consort to the most lovely Hecate. Thank you for joining me on today's elemental synastry reading. It is a divination technique which was given to me by the goddess upon our sacred marriage. It involves the tarot, the 5 elements, and astrology. Now this is a timeless collective reading, so take what resonates and discard what doesn't. And as always, tarot should be used to confirm what you already intuitively know and not necessarily meant to be taken as literal advice. And on a side note, I would love to thank everyone who's been leaving comments. I really appreciate it all, and thank you for your support and encouragement. And let's get on with today's reading. So I draw a tarot card, that one wanted to come out, to see what's affecting that particular element. And here we have the 4 of Swords. Okay, so in spirit, and spirit is represented by the bell, in spirit, we are having something which is basically calling us back into action. We've gone through a period of rest. We've gone through a period of isolation. And now Spirit is saying, get ready to be active again. Get ready either to go into the public spotlight, get ready to perhaps go out and make new connections, meet new people, and just begin to reconnect with life again. And so that's what's influencing the spirit right now. And what I do is I take the astrology die to see what is either the likely outcome or perhaps what is influencing that particular element. All right, so we have Saturn in Gemini in the 12th house. Okay, so let's line this up. So I roll once for the decan. I roll once for the house and the second time for the decan. All right, 8. So the middle decan of Gemini. Okay. In the 12th house. All right, so the middle decan of Gemini is generally the 9 of Swords in the tarot. That's what it's related to. And that has to deal with basically our nightmares, our fears, and those elements which, you know, we kind of hold ourselves back in our minds. It's a lord of despair and cruelty, and sometimes, you know, we are the most cruel to ourselves. So what's striking about this is that with it being in the 12th house, it has to deal with a reckoning. It has to deal with really coming to terms with a lot of things. And of course we have Saturn right there. So basically what I'm getting from this is that we have done that deep shadow work. We have done that deep reflection, those ways in which we really face ourselves. We really look deep into our hearts. We ask ourselves, okay, what does our life mean to us? And really seeing past the nightmares of that middle decan, really seeing past all the noise and all the fears which have paralyzed us in the past. And yeah, that house of Pisces, that 12th house, it's a very, very deep spiritual house in which this is some really really introspective work which is happening right now. And it would make sense because, now Spirit is saying it's time to spring back into action. So it's only by really doing that type of work which causes us to sort of have that sort of new sense, that new willpower, that new dawn, so to speak. Despite whatever's happened in the past, despite whatever our fears may be, know that whatever it is that we've contemplated, or whatever it is that we've been through, or whatever the lessons that we've learned, again, that time is over. It's now time to act upon it. It's now time to dust ourselves off and spring back into action. Okay, excellent. Let's move on to the next element. And that is the element of fire, which represents our drives and ambitions, the human spirit, overcoming adversity and whatnot. It's represented by the wands, which is all about that focus and directed energy. Okay. So what is happening in the element of fire, love? Let's see. The Queen of Pentacles. Excellent. So, all of our introspection and all of our reflection has now led us to a point to where we could really take a directed approach with our drives and ambitions. We can really begin to see the sensible nature of things and be able to understand exactly what it is that we've got to do. Saturn is represented by the world in tarot, and the Queen of Pentacles also, that earth element is very, very earthly, and it means that we have all our T's crossed, we have all our I's dotted, and now it is time to, as we spring back into action, now it is time to focus our drives and ambitions with a very sensible approach, with a very, very level-headed approach, and not necessarily being frivolous with our time or with our money or even our spirit, but again, really embracing those day-to-day practical aspects of our life. And what I'm really getting from this too is also a lot of consistency. When we can be consistent with our efforts, when we can be consistent in how we approach things, we find that we can accomplish a lot more than when we just kind of put in the time when we want to put it in. So this is saying take a very consistent, a very methodical, a very sensible approach to how we are engaging with our drive, with our ambitions. Yes, excellent message between both of these cards so far. Okay, let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. And we have the North Node in Scorpio in the 8th house. Okay, so a lot of Scorpio energy there. Okay. Let's re-roll for the decan. Okay, so we are in the 3rd decan of Scorpio in the 8th house. Now, so that 3rd decan of Scorpio is the Lord of Illusionary Success. It means that as we step into our North Node, and especially as we take a very sensible approach with our drives and ambitions, we are beginning to lose those illusions. We are beginning to lose sort of the daydreaming aspects of how we used to approach things. And that would make sense because, after going on a very deep and introspective dive from spirit, many times we find that, we emerge with this sort of no-nonsense type of attitude. We realize that, there's only so many hours in the day, and we need to really make the most of every day that we are here. The fact that it's in the 8th house could deal with a couple of different things. I'm kind of getting a couple of scenarios depending on who's listening to this. It could deal with perhaps removing the illusions in a relationship. It could mean perhaps losing the illusions regarding some type of inheritance as well. That's also 8th house matters. And also removing illusions regarding death and the finite nature of our lives. That actually seems to be the message to resonate with the most, is really how we view our mortal lives really has an effect on our drives and ambitions. A lot of times when we take our lives for granted, we may not have that discipline to really tap into those energies which allow us to accomplish greater things, because we always think we have time tomorrow, or we always think that maybe perhaps there's even no point in it. But after going through this deep 12th house energy, this deep introspection, it seems as though we have emerged with a new sense of purpose, and that would actually make a lot of sense. In that, again, like I was saying, the finite nature of our lives, the mortality, the process of aging really kind of lights a fire under us to want to do more with our lives and to want more from our lives as well. Okay, excellent. Let's see. It seems like we're almost off. We almost had a trine here, not quite. But the energies are pretty close. So I would say that probably the reason that it's not a trine is because, it's a collective reading, so maybe some people have different interpretations of this, as opposed to it being just about relating to one's death. Excellent. All right, let's move on. Okay, so the next element is air, and that represents generally our communication, our education, again, social aspects, ability to create and manifest within our lives. All right, what is influencing the element of air? Okay, so we have the inverted 7 of Pentacles. Okay. So, it would suggest that perhaps we're being a little bit hasty in wanting to fulfill our goals. All right, thank you. Perhaps we are trying, not necessarily trying, because we are trying, but perhaps we are expecting a little bit too much too quick, and it's reflecting in the impatience in perhaps our communication efforts, or maybe we feel like we can't learn fast enough or acquire new skills fast enough. So we have a tendency to say, oh, well, why even try in the first place if it seems like there is just this huge mountain of work ahead of us. But really, while it may seem overwhelming, while it may seem like we'll just never get there, or that we want to give up too soon, or whatever it is, it's important to know, especially with this Queen of Pentacles energy, that if we want to get there, it's really about that consistency and that daily focus. And with all this reflection in what our lives mean to us, that's pretty much the only way that we're going to get there. So yeah, there could be a little bit of discouragement. Maybe our social networks are not growing as fast as we would like them to. Maybe we are finding that people are perhaps leaving our lives in unexpected ways, or something to that nature. But really, again, we can only control ourselves, not necessarily the people or the world around us. And as long as we apply that consistency, as long as we stay centered, and we know what either we have to offer, or we know where we want to go, then we could keep building towards that future that we want. All right, so let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. So we have the North Node in Virgo in the 8th house. All right, a lot of North Node, a lot of Virgo. So this is really about a message of us coming into our being, coming into who we are meant to be too. Okay. Let's re-roll again. Okay, 11. So we've got a conjunction between air and fire, and 2 North Nodes. All right. Fascinating. Okay. So with that Virgo energy, yeah, that would make a lot of sense now that we may feel like we want to give up, because Virgo is always the perfectionist. Virgo always wants things done the right way. And even though we may come to some inner realizations when it comes to our communication, or perhaps our external validation, maybe we're not seeing that. And yeah, I get that. I mean, any time we start something, it's going to be hard, and things usually just don't take off right away. And this is with pretty much anything we do in life. Whatever is going to be worth it, whatever is going to be life-changing for us, it's going to take time. And yeah, these 2 energies in conjunction would kind of amplify that message. Stick with that Queen of Pentacles advice, and don't give up so easily, because those are the lessons, those are the actions that we need to take to fully embrace our North Node. And also, I would say, yeah, with these 2, and with the message that both of these are saying, it feels more like it is a realization of our own mortality, which is sort of driving this. It's that sort of now or never attitude. And while it may be scary, while it may while we may have fear, doubt, and disbelief of being able to even accomplish what we have to set out, the process of stepping into action from spirit, the process of being consistent, will really help this energy of wanting to give up to sort of dissipate. Remember, consistency is key. It's kind of interesting because on my music channel, I just did a short about consistency versus talent, and I was saying that, you know, consistency beats out talent any day of the week. When people are talented and they may have a natural ability for something, you know, they'll eventually, and this happened with me too, they always get to a point to where they realize they gotta work, and your talent can only carry you so far. To truly master something, to truly get it to where you have, again, like I said, complete mastery of what you're doing, it's really that consistent effort. It's really showing up every day and either educating yourself or, you know, practicing what you preach, all that kind of stuff. It's really about consistency. And that is why these two elements are in conjunction, to sort of reiterate and to reinforce that lesson. Excellent. Okay, let's move along to Pentacles. So Pentacles represents our material wealth. It can also represent our spiritual wealth. All of those energies which help us to provide or to feel abundance within our lives. Okay. What is happening in the element of Pentacles, love? Excellent. So we have the World. What a nice message so far. So here we have Saturn, and how I was saying Saturn represents the world, and now we have the world popping up. And then the Queen of Pentacles representing Earth, and of course many Saturnian aspects as well. So there is, there is great abundance coming in, especially as we spring into action, but also already we are abundant. We already have those tools that we need to be able to be successful. Perhaps, you know, the reason why we want to give up so easily is because we haven't communicated that need to be ourselves, to be authentic, and to really put our talents on display. But already it's there. We already have what we need. We already have the knowledge, the talent, the skill set, whatever it is. It's just looking inside oneself, again with this very introspective 12th house energy right here, looking inside oneself and knowing throughout every cell in your body that you are worthy and that you are a person of abundance. You know, no matter what the situation is, it may not, you know, the abundance may not feel like it's there in your bank account. The abundance may not feel like it's there in your relationships or whatever it is. Whatever it is that you feel lacking, whatever it is, it doesn't matter, because you already are the world. You already are what you need to be. And so it's really about embracing your north node, embracing those things that really make you you. And the more that those talents and skills are embraced, the more this earthly manifestation will happen as well, if that's what you desire. Or perhaps maybe you already have the material wealth, but it feels like there's something lacking. Well, just go in deeper and really look within yourself to find also that spiritual abundance as well. You know, if you're successful on one plane, whether it's spiritual or material, you can usually find a way to be successful on the other plane. That's really the true lesson of Pentacles, is being able to transmute that energy, those energies between those two planes, both spiritual and material. Okay, let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. Okay, we got the South Node in Virgo in the 9th house. A lot of Virgo energy, a lot of nodal energy too. All right, let's see. And let's re-roll for the decan. Let's see where we're at. Okay, first decan of Virgo. Here, this is all kind of scrunched up. Let me readjust it. Okay, let's see. That 12 and that 3. Yeah, looks like we got another conjunction between. Actually, all of these are conjunct. Wow, okay. So we have a triple conjunction formed between fire, between air, and between earth. So all of these energies are working together. And yeah, it's really interesting that we have this Virgo energy on the outside with this sort of Scorpio core. Yeah, that South Node, especially related to the world, says, it's sort of reiterating what I was saying earlier about how we already have the skills that we need. In fact, many of these skills we also probably inherited from past lifetimes as well. So there is more than enough abundance within at least our spirit to be able to spring into action. Perhaps, yeah, it's interesting that this is all earth energy too, all pentacle energy between these 3 tarot cards. It would seem as though that there is so much abundance and so much going for us that can also be the reason why maybe we feel a bit disappointed in where we're at right now, is because we know we have so much to offer. We know that we know that, you know, many of the things that we got to do. Well, I would say that, you know, that the message of this particular reading is to just do it. Just show up every day. And right now, you know, we may not feel like we are at where we want to be, but through that consistency, we will be where we want to be. And again, the spirit message is saying, you know, it's time to spring into action. We can no longer just solely contemplate these issues anymore. There is nothing left to do. It's just about doing it. And let's see what else we have. Yeah, so again, especially with that Scorpio energy, that 3rd decan Scorpio energy, again, the illusions are gone. The daydreaming is gone. It's really about action right now. That's all it really is. Don't let the perfectionism of Virgo stand in the way. Just do it. And really that first decan of Virgo, the Lord of Prudence, would also suggest, it goes back and it reinforces the message of the Queen of Pentacles in that daily sensible approach, really keeping centered throughout this entire throughout this entire experience. And don't become discouraged. Don't worry if, let's say you make a post and it doesn't go viral right away or something like that. It's really about consistency. It's really about building towards your future every single day. All right, let's move along to the last element, the element of water, which is represented by the cups. And water can represent our emotions and our intuition. Okay, what is influencing water? Okay, so we have the inverted Four of Wands. And yeah. So when the Four of Wands is inverted, it could represent a type of delay. A delay in our eventual success. The Four of Wands in the upright position generally refers to, some type of celebration, some type of, need to celebrate our success. It's the Lord of perfected work. But right now it's inverted, and that would make sense. That it would be inverted, especially with what we're feeling in our air element. But again, the inverted Four of Wands, it's a delay of impending success. And so it means that success is right there. And this is also very, very similar to last week's reading. So maybe a lot of people are feeling that they're almost there, but it's not quite there yet. Perhaps there's some kind of hang-up or whatever that we're having. But this is actually still very positive, because we know in our intuition, we know in our emotions, our gut feeling, that success is right there. We know, and we can feel it, but we may not just quite be there yet. And that's also why I keep going back to the element of air, because it's saying we just need to communicate a little bit more. It's saying that we just need, and again, with it being in conjunction with fire and earth, it's just saying that we need to hold steady and just keep proceeding forward, and things will work out. And again, with the message of spirit, it's saying, you can't stall anymore. We can't stall anymore. We just need to do what we got to do. So whatever it is that you may be thinking of doing, that whether you've started it or whether you haven't started it, whatever it is, understand that it will be successful. It will bring that joy, and it will bring that sense of accomplishment. It will bring everything that you've ever wanted, because on the earth element, we already have the world. It's already there. It's our south node. That's, the south node is the easy part. Stepping into our north node is the harder part. Taking those actions. And again, it's really just saying to not give up and to just be consistent with our efforts. And that success will be there. This Four of Wands will turn upright, and we will be satisfied on that emotional level. All right, let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. Okay, so we have Venus in Aquarius in the 8th house. Wow, a lot of 8th house energy. Okay, let me move this out of the way. All right, and I'm going to roll for the decking really quick. Okay, 12. So another conjunction. Wow, look at all of these conjunctions. Okay. Got so many conjunctions, I can't even make room for the cards or the elements or any of this. Okay. So everything is in conjunction in this reading. Or I should say everything but spirit. Very, very powerful message. Okay. Okay. Venus in Aquarius or I should say, Venus in the third decan of Aquarius in the 8th house. Okay. So, that third decan of Aquarius is all about deception. And that Venus, yeah, interesting. So this could suggest that perhaps we could be deceiving ourselves in some way, or perhaps someone else, maybe someone who appears very charming in our life, could also be deceiving us. And whatever we're clinging onto in this deception is really sort of the linchpin, sort of the linchpin to being able to free up that energy to feel successful. So something in our intuition is telling us to watch out for something, and whatever that is, it could be different for everyone. Whatever that is, it's probably letting you know that your intuition is right. With it being in Scorpio, which also has to deal, which also in certain respects has to deal with our relationships, our intimate relationships. Perhaps there is either a lover or a relationship that is also holding us back too. And yeah, whatever that energy is, it could also be interpreted as perhaps an addiction, or perhaps some kind of hang-up. So whatever that means to you, take what resonates. Whatever that happens to be, look at it. Your intuition isn't wrong. A lot of times we have a tendency to avoid our intuition because it's not something that can be easily proved. But at the same time, your intuition is essentially the culmination of all of those energies, all of those the cells within our body. They're all telling us something. And so whatever your intuition is telling you, whatever your gut feeling is, they're saying that the gut is just as smart as the brain, if not perhaps more smart than the brain. Whatever your gut is telling you, don't ignore it, because there is something here. There is some level of deception. Maybe perhaps we could even be deceiving ourselves in some way. Maybe we are allowing ourselves to be deceived in some way. Perhaps it's also very possible that whatever is deceiving us here is also making us discouraged in the element of air. So it's not necessarily our own self which is actually feeling this. We could be picking up the vibes of something which is influencing us. So again, really tread cautiously with that. Tread cautiously with whatever is making us feel that either we are not enough, or whatever is making us feel bad about ourselves. Whatever that is, what are those root issues which is causing us to feel that? And really understand that yeah, especially as I go back to this spirit reading, really understand that it's all in our heads. The Nine of Swords is the Nightmare card, and again, it's those nightmares that keep us up at night. But really, it's just, like I said, it's all in our heads. And as we wake and we return to our conscious life, understand that we already are blessed with all these gifts that the world has for us. It was in our past, and to really embrace, manifesting even more, or to manifest our past or past lives, it's really about taking the sensible approach in this current life. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, all of these are in conjunction. So the energies between all of those, it's really kind of just one message. We are already abundance. We already have enough. We know the approach that we got to take. But maybe our vices or someone in our life is sowing the seeds of doubt, which is causing us to perhaps want to give up and turn away. But no, we are being guided by Spirit to follow through, to keep up with what we're doing, and to not get discouraged. Don't listen to those inner demons, so to speak. Really know that we'll get to where we want to be through our consistency. We already have that ability to do it. So it's just opening up the door and walking right through it. Okay, so I think I'm going to call it here for right now and switch it over to the extended reading. If you're interested in the extended reading, it's on my Discord, and right now it is free for the first 100 members who join my Discord. And after that, the extended readings will be available only through a subscription. So yeah, if you like these readings, head on over to the Discord for the extended. And also, if you find that you've resonated with this message, feel free to leave a comment. I love hearing from all of you. And let's see what else. Let's see if there's anything else. No, that's pretty much it so far. So yeah, I love to hear from all of you. Let everyone else know if you've resonated with this too. And don't forget to like and subscribe. So thanks again, everyone, for your continued support, for your comments. It really means a lot to me. And may Hecate illuminate your path and guide you at the crossroads.